Honestly, I can't even be mad. They tried. I mean, just goddamn it, they tried. Bruins lose 3-2 to the Nashville Predators, and taking nothing away from the Preds, they absolutely deserve to win this game. But it was a little bit sad to sit here and watch a team of professional athletes struggle so mightily just to try and play a 60-minute game. Now, coming into this game, Nashville was kind of struggling. They kind of got back on their groove in the game prior, and they had a couple of days to wait and build off of that as the Bruins were finishing up their Western road trip. They travel all day Sunday, have to play Monday, and I don't know if I've ever seen a team be more visibly affected by jet lag and travel than this team tonight. And granted, while you don't have the majority of players who were on the Stanley Cup team, it really puts into perspective just how crazy that 2011 Cup run was when you consider just how many miles the Bruins put in on the road. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that on their days off, they're not just sitting at home, they're traveling and busting their asses. And in this game, they just couldn't overcome it. Jimmy Hayes, Colin Miller, and Dennis Seidenberg are out while Jonas Gustafsson takes the net, looking to rebound from his horrible start in Calgary. The Bruins do dodge a bit of a bullet as Carter Hutton's in. Nashville plays Chicago on Tuesday, so obviously viewing our matchup as a little bit of the lesser, which they probably should, going up against a divisional rival. But regardless, coming into this game, it doesn't really matter who's in net for Nashville. They do have a very strong team, regardless of current struggles or not. The game starts off relatively well as Kevin Miller gets his second goal of the season, comes in down along the sideboard, steps in, takes a shot, deflects off the ankle of one of Nashville's defenders, and just magically goes top shelf, top corner. So a little bit of luck there on the opening goal. But Nashville would tie it by the end of the first period. Chara goes to the box, high sticking against James Neal, and Roman Josi takes advantage. A beautiful, just a goddamn beautiful piece of art power play for Nashville. Beautiful cycling, puck onto the stick of Roman Josi, who snipes it just about as well as any player ever could, beating Jonas Gustafsson. Second period, we get to see some grit. Brad Marchand going at it with Roman Josi, who was just everywhere. It was the Roman Josi show tonight. And Tyler Randell absolutely assaults Erik Nystrom. Jack Edwards said it during the broadcast last night, and truly, Ty Randell is someone that Bruins fans love to have on this team. I mentioned it a couple episodes ago, talking about what you kind of expect to see from your team when you have the history of physical play, like the Bruins do, like the Flyers do. And when you have someone like Tyler Randell, who kind of embodies that blue-collar style, and he's scoring some goals here and there, he could be on this team for a long time. He wasn't used at all in the Calgary game. He had 2 minutes of ice time. He's getting back into it now, though, getting used a bit more often. Unfortunately, towards the end of the game, he kind of got into penalty trouble. Takes a penalty at the end of the second period and a tripping penalty against James Neal in the third period. So I think a lot of people kind of put him at an even rating for this game. I think they liked the fight, but obviously the penalties to follow didn't do him any favors. Also, too, before I forget, I want to touch up on the James Neal embellishment call. A lot of people calling him out for that. Obviously, it's something he's known for doing. And then you have the hilarity of the referee catching him and his expletives being caught on live TV. As far as James Neal goes, it is what it is. Like I said, I know diving is a part of the game. I know Bruins players do it. I'm not necessarily happy when people dive. I don't care who what team they're on, but it is part of the game. And to be honest, I mean, let's be real here. I don't know any team that wouldn't want James Neal on their top two lines. James Neal is a monster of a player when he's on. But in the second period, the Bruins do take advantage of that James Neal embellishment call. Another beautiful power play setup for the Bruins. It's been kind of stale lately, but they get the goal here. A deflection by Louis Eriksson, his 10th goal of the season, puts the Bruins up 2-1. But then, just moments later, Patrice Bergeron in the box for a hooking call against Kalle Järnkrok, and Roman Josi scores a goal, crashes hard on net, and buries it past Gustafsson. People are calling it Orr-esque. Let's be honest, that's ridiculous, but it was a beautiful goal, and again, it was the Roman Josi show. And by the third period, the Bruins were just straight up out of gas. They had a shot drought that lasted for nearly a period, 17 minutes and 6 seconds. Absolutely horrendous. A season-low shot total of only 17 shots on net. And by the end of it, you kind of hope the defense could hold on, but just after the 15-minute mark, 5 minutes to go in the third period, Victor Arvidsson just kind of dances past Kevin Miller, who blows the tire. Gustafsson comes out, tries to poke it off him early. He manages to just walk around him and get the goal. A beautiful goal for Victor Arvidsson, and that caps off the game. Nashville wins, deservingly so, and it was a tough gut check for the Bruins that they just couldn't overcome. Not to say you really want to look at this game in a negative light. You had the schedule against you, playing a very strong team. You did have some positives. Bergeron tying Milt Schmidt for 11th all-time in Boston scoring, which is incredible. Whether or not Bergeron can catch up to the likes of Ray Bourque, Johnny Busick, Phil Esposito, who's to say, obviously those three guys all over 1,000 career points. As a Bruin, we now have Bergeron at 5.75. He has a long way to go, but at 30 years old, he very well could have another decade in his career. It'll be interesting to see, because I especially don't see him leaving the Bruins organization in his career. It would be a heartbreaking moment if he does. Like I said, he has a long way to go. I don't necessarily think he'll beat Bourque for all-time points, which is still just insane to think that that is held by a defenseman when you had the likes of Esposito, Johnny Busick, and Rick Middleton up there in the 2, 3, and 4 spot. But Bergeron, obviously the future captain of this team, and he very well could challenge if he actually gets another true goal-scoring partner next to him on the right wing, considering that's always been a little bit questionable with who's been playing there. But anyway, we will cut this off now. A disappointing loss, but an understandable loss, and now the Bruins go up against the Montreal Canadiens at Bell Center on Wednesday. Obviously this before the Winter Classic. Certainly is nerve-wracking, always dangerous to visit Montreal. Of course, the only bright side is that Carey Price is not there. You have Mike Condon, but he has proved to be a capable goaltender coming out of nowhere to take that backup spot. And this will be a big game for the Bruins. Montreal has owned them for the past couple of seasons. This has to be a statement game. You learn the lesson with Calgary. You cannot outplay a team at their own game. Montreal and Calgary are kind of similar in terms of fast-paced kind of chances rather than the grinded-out style the Bruins like to use. You can't go toe-to-toe with them, and even though their style really kind of benefits them more when they're playing a team like Boston, that's when you just have to kick it up into the extra gear, overcome, and just grind out this win. It'll be interesting. I don't know what to expect, but fingers crossed, trying to stay optimistic. My question to you for this game are really two questions. How do you think the Montreal game will go? What did you think of the James Neal embellishment penalty? And fuck it, why not? Tyler Randell, what did you think of Tyler Randell's fight? And for the hell of it, why not? What do you think of the Nashville Predators jerseys? I've heard a lot of people say that they are absolutely hideous. Personally, I love Nashville's jerseys, but that could just be me, and I know that's a random as hell question. But let me know all that down below. If you've enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more. Of course, I do recaps after every single Bruins game. Might be looking to evolve this series a little bit more in the future. But regardless, we'll end this now, and I will see you all next time.